Hi, Dr. Paula Sauer here. I am here today to speak to you about your ergonomic setup at home. Many of us are stuck at home right now, and many of us don't have a proper ergonomic setup, but you don't need that necessarily. You just need to deploy a few simple techniques and concepts at home so that your posture remains better and then you're not getting neck pain and low back pain that you can avoid. So for many of us at home, we're using table surfaces that are maybe lower or higher than we're used to, and we have a chair that isn't adjustable, and that's okay. There's certain things I want you to think about. First, if you're finding that you're ending up like this is what we don't want. We don't want you going fetal in terms of your work experience and getting like this. You need to start to bring things up to you. So whatever chair you are sitting on, you need to be able to sit upright in your chair. So you don't want to be slouched like this, or what we call a flexed spine. So you're hunching over and you're just going into a really non-ideal situation for your back. So instead, don't worry about the elbow rests if you don't have them at home. Many of us are just using a kitchen chair or a stool to sit on. So what I do want you to think about is that your knees are not higher than your hips. So you're not sitting like this and working like this. You're not putting your computer on your lap and you're like curled up in a ball. You get the idea, right? We don't want to be in a ball. We want to be bright. And if you want to lean back into your chair, that's great. Some of us need a little extra help and need a little padding there. I'll give you a demonstration against the wall, using the wall as a mock version of the back of the chair. Or some of us just have, I'm on a seated stool that I have at the clinic here where I don't have a backrest, so I have to really rely on sitting up straight. And then pull your belly in a little bit, just like somebody's gonna tickle you and you're just kind of bracing for it. You just want to put a little tone there, and what you'll feel is that this belly contraction actually holds your skeleton upright. Now, what about your computer screen? If you're finding that you're looking down and like this a lot, you need to bring your computer up to you, or you need to change the position. I have a laptop here and I don't have an extra screen. So what I like to do is I'll have it down low where my arms are in a better position. And then when I find myself going here, I'll change the height of the computer, bring it up a little bit higher so that my head is remaining level with the screen. So I'll give you an example what that looks like as well. At home, all you need are some books or a box or something you can kind of build the surface up, and that's it. For the back of your chair and giving yourself some back support, you can use a pillow or you can use an inflatable ball that's not inflated all the way. Okay, so what do I do if my chair is just too low and the table's really high? We're not seeing that in this case, but let's just imagine, use your imagination here, and this will apply to some of you at home. So you can take some books. I'm using yoga blocks, but these can be books. If you have yoga blocks, great, you can put them on your chair and sit on them and go, all right, well, hey, look at that. Now my hips, you can see my hips are positioned higher than my knees. This is gonna be better to sit on versus being lower, because then that puts your spine in a better position. If your knees come up higher, it will give your back the cue to kind of go into flexion a little bit. So, especially if you struggle with a low back issue, bring the surface up higher for you so you can sit up tall. Okay, now, what if the surface is too low and you're working and your arms are down here and you're leaning in a lot? Then you take some books or some blocks and you put your laptop on that and you start working from this position here. The more I bring that screen up higher, this is going to be a little high for my arms, but because you want your arms right about here. So if you have a desk at home, that would be your ideal setup. See where I have a 90-degree angle here with my arms, okay? But if we can't do that, this is pretty darn close. I can work here and look at the screen. I can position the screen so that I can see it better this way versus having to lean in. I can just tilt it back and go, I can look down on that screen. But if you find yourself coming in here, then what you want to do is maybe you take a version of that and you build the surface even higher and go, all right, I'm going to spend like 30 minutes working here, so I'm looking at a screen that's more in front of my eyes. We don't want to stay in this position for too long, and in fact, I don't recommend anybody stay in any particular position for too long. Get up, take breaks. I recommend you set a timer every 45 to 60 minutes just to remind you of like, oh, am I going this way? Do I need to sit up straight? I recommend getting up, go walk around your house, and then sit back down, do that little posture check and go, are my ribs over my hips, my head facing forward, not up, not looking down. You want to really get that ideal positioning. Okay, let's say you want to not work at the table, or you have a chair with a backrest, but it's, you know, maybe not the most ideal work chair. Well, using the ball would look like this. You lean. You can see this is too low. So I need to build the surface up. So I just use a pillow. And you can use any pillow you have on your bed or your couch. And voila, look at that. I've got a pretty good workstation right here. And I can just tilt the screen at the angle that I need it at. Another option is, if you don't have a ball like this, is that you would use a pillow back here. You can either take it upright like this. I prefer you keep it up a little bit higher right there, so you can see that I have a nice upright posture. And again, we need to fill in this space, so you can use another pillow under here, or you can use some books, or you can use some yoga blocks. Okay, so what about a standing workstation? So a standing workstation you can make out of your countertop at home. You can use a dresser or something that's higher up. Again, we're trying to build the height of the counter so that your elbows are resting comfortably by your side and that the screen is at a nice height. So again, if this isn't too low, you can work here. If it's not high enough, you can build that space just putting books or yoga blocks or anything underneath, even a pillow to lift that surface up. You want to also keep in mind that when you're working standing, that you want equal weight in your feet. You don't want to stand with your hip out to the side. You don't want to crouch over like this when you're working. You don't want to punch back like this, okay? If you find yourself doing this, go sit down, find another position, take a break. That's usually what that means. It means your body's getting fidgety, wants to move, and it can't hold itself up here for very long. Also want to put a little tone in our belly, relax your shoulders down, and then off to work you go. I hope you enjoyed these tips and tricks for creating a better posture environment or ergonomic setup at home. A lot of us maybe don't have an ideal situation, but look around your house, see what you have. You might have things you can use to build space up so that your alignment is better. And that really is the overarching theme of this tutorial. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, or you can email me, paula@alignptla.com. You can also schedule a virtual visit. I can go through your ergonomic setup with you at home. We can do this one-on-one if you want. Go on my website. You can request an appointment there, or you can send me an email and we can do it that way as well. I hope you're all well and safe, and I wish you all good health. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.